Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing another recipe and we're going to hit on some breakfast for this recipe. Maybe start posting a couple breakfast recipes, something, things very easy and simple. This is one of those recipes, okay? Very simple. Now, of course, if you don't like these ingredients, you're not going to like the recipe, but people that like these ingredients, they're going to absolutely love this. I guarantee you this. Over here, this is just what you can use a plain bagel if you want to. I have an everything bagel here from a local bakery. I have some mascarpone cheese over here. Be careful when you pick this out. There's some that are designed especially just for bagels and toast. Okay, so that's the kind of mascarpone that you want. Okay, so that's what you're going to look for, something like that. And if you guys don't know exactly what this is, it's basically an Italian version of a cream cheese. That's it. That's all it is. And over here I got a 6 ounce weighed out portion of salmon. Okay. I have a little bit of oil. You can use olive oil, vegetable oil, whatever you choose to do. And over here I have some fresh dill. These are the ingredients. 4 ingredients. It's going to be a great breakfast. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to pan sear the salmon, and we are going to put this bagel into a grill pan that I have behind me. Everything's preheated and ready to go. And then we're going to let some of this stuff cool down. We're going to put this together. So this is what we got. The salmon is going to get broke down a little bit, put on this bagel. So it's going to be the bagel, the mascarpone, the salmon, and then we're going to finish it off with a little bit of fresh dill. If you've never had this, stay tuned. This is a great breakfast. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do with this is we're just going to slice the bagel down the center. If you have a bagel cutter, go ahead and use that. I don't have one of those, so we're just going to take an old trusted knife here, and this is what we're going to do. We're just going to open this up. This is a really nice bagel too. It's real soft inside. This is kind of what you want. Now, if you only want to make the bottom half where there's not a lot of seasoning and stuff on it, you can absolutely do that, okay? Either way, it's going to come out great, okay? But we're going to put this down, face down in the grill pan. So let me go to the other side of the kitchen, and I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so I have my grill pan here. It's all preheated. It's pretty hot. The only thing we're going to do is we're just going to drop the bagel in here, get some grill marks on it, maybe turn it halfway through just to make it look nice for presentation. Put just a little bit of char on it, not too much. Now, you all can put this in a toaster too. If you want to do that, put this in a toaster or put this in a toaster oven. This is just the way I do it. You don't have to do it necessarily like that. So we're going to let this go, and we're going to let this toast up for a few minutes, and then I'll show you exactly how hard of a toast that I put on that. Okay, so here you go. This bagel is almost done. You can see how dark it's getting. Now you can put it darker than that. I'm actually going to. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to do a quarter turn. And I'm just going to leave it there for a couple of minutes, get some grill marks the other way, and then we're going to just let this bagel rest. Now, the reason why I let this bagel rest is because I personally, and it's just a personal preference, that's all this is, I don't personally like to have cream cheese on a hot bagel because I don't like how creamy that the cream cheese gets, right? So that's just me. I just don't like it because I find out that like when I bite a bagel, when you have the top and bottom put together, you find out that the cream cheese has a tendency of coming out the side, right? I just don't like that. But half bagel like this isn't so bad. So you could do it warm on this particular recipe if you want to. Okay, so here's what we got. That's the bagel. That's how I toast it down. I'm just going to set this aside now, and now we're going to get over to the other side, and I'm going to drop the salmon in, and we're going to get going with that, and then we're going to assemble this. All right, so here we go with the salmon. Now, I am using cast iron for this recipe. You don't have to. You can turn around and you can use a nonstick pan if you want to. You can also bake this in the oven if you want to put this on a small cookie sheet. Throw it in the oven, 350, 375-ish, somewhere around there. Bake the internal temperature to 120 to 125. Okay, that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I do have a probe, so I will definitely be checking this because I don't want to overcook it because the outside gets a little bit tough. But today I decided to pan sear this because it's how I like it. I think it presents very well. So that's what we're going to do. Now, we're not going to use a lot of oil. That's about it, just like that. Okay, because I only say that just because of salmon as a whole is a very oily fish. Okay, so you'll see that. You'll see how oily that this is actually going to get. So what we're going to do now, I have my salmon here. We're going to put it in the pan just like this, and we're just going to let it sit. I'm not going to play with it too much, and we're going to get the one side done, and then we're going to flip it. This isn't going to take long. This is only going to take a few minutes, okay? I'm cooking this to an internal temperature of 120, and I'm going to check that with a probe because I don't want to ruin this piece of fish. All right, so we'll bring you back when this hits 120. We'll show you what that's like, and then we'll assemble this amazing breakfast. This is actually a great breakfast. Okay, guys, we'll be right back. All right, so I just want to show you now what's happening. You can see a little bit of white here, and there's a little bit of white. Now, this is moving freely in the pan. Okay, so this is what I mean by it's going to release itself. This is now released. Now, you may get a little bit of sticking, but there's not going to be much, okay? So now it's ready to flip. All right, look at that. That is going to look great on this bagel as well. Right now, I'm at a temperature of about 90 degrees on the inside of this, so we're going to have a little bit more time left on this. I'd say probably about 5 minutes on, medium to low. Now, this is a cast iron pan. Every pan heats up differently. If you're using cast iron, you're using ceramic coated, you're using a non-stick pan, any of the pans, it's all going to cook a little bit differently. So make sure you watch the temperature on your pan. You go slow with this, not a problem. Okay, so we're just going to leave it there until it's cooked, and then we're going to let it rest for a couple of minutes, and I'll bring you back and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so I just poked this with the instant read here, and I'm getting about 120 to 122. So this piece of salmon is completed now. All right, so yeah, see, it's actually just falling apart. That's how nice this is. All right, so what we're going to do is actually, what I'm going to do so I can get this out in one piece, we're going to kill the heat, and we are going to take this is actually an omelet spatula, and we're going to take it off, and that's going to be it. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm going to let this rest. We're just going to stick this on a plate. I'm going to let this rest for a few minutes. There we go. And I'll be right back with you guys, and we're going to plate this up real quick. Here we go. We have our salmon all done, all cooled. I let it sit for about 5-10 minutes. This here cools down really, really quick. Okay, so I just want to show you guys now exactly what I was talking about the center. This is just going to flake apart. Okay, so see how the center is? It's still nice and pink. Okay, so the only thing we're going to do with this now is we're just going to take it, and you can always tell when your fish is done if you put your fork in it and just turn a little bit. And if it becomes flaky like it is right now, look, no effort at all to pull this apart. Okay, that's how you tell if your salmon is done. Okay, so you won't get sick off this. I know some people say, oh, cook your fish to 145 and all that kind of thing. Listen, all you got to do is cook your salmon to about 120, 125, and you're all set, bottom line. And this is what I was talking about how this is going to plate up. See this little caramelization here? That's going to look really, really good against the bagel. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Very, very simple. See how simple? Just going to break it up just like that. Okay, now we're going to push this aside. The only thing I did off camera was I did cut up a little bit of fresh dill over here. All right, now we have our bagel. Let's go about there with it. And I have my mascarpone. And if you've never had this, it's fantastic. Now, be a little generous with this, okay? Don't be shy. Make sure you actually put it on. Now, the other thing you can do too before somebody says, well, you could have made some dill cream cheese with what you have here. You're 100% right, I could have. I didn't, because I like how I layer the flavors on this, okay? All right, so that's it. There's our cream cheese. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to take a little bit of the fresh basil, the fresh dill, just like this. We're going to put that on, just like that. Okay, now we're going to get this video almost closed now. All right, now we're just gonna put on our really nice salmon here. If you're a salmon lover, you got to do this, especially for a breakfast. Now, if you don't want to cook, I mean, if I understand that people don't want to cook fresh salmon for breakfast, I get that. But if you're doing a recipe or something like that the night before and you have some salmon left over, this right here, don't forget this recipe. This is a great recipe for this particular breakfast. Okay, so we have just a little bit of salmon left over. Didn't use it all. That was 6 ounces, so there's probably 4 ounces on there. Okay, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean up some of my mess here. But before I do that, we're just gonna garnish it a little bit, just like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna clean my mess up, and we're gonna come back. I'm gonna put this on a plate, and that's gonna be the end of the video. Okay, guys, hang in there, another minute. We go. We have our plate. This is how we're plating this up today. And the only thing I'm gonna do now is just take a little. Just a little bit, just on the top. And we're just going to put a little dollop of cream cheese up there, okay? Because you always garnish with what you use in your recipes, we're going to garnish it with a little fresh dill, just like that. Okay, so guys, hey, here's a great breakfast. This is my breakfast for I don't even know what to call this. We're gonna do it a salmon mascarpone bagel for breakfast with some fresh dill. Okay, so that's this recipe. I hope you guys like this. If you do like it, put a thumbs up. Okay, and if you want to share this video with some friends of yours, excellent. Subscribers, I could use a couple of more subscribers. That would be fantastic as well. All right, so that is the end of this video. This is my salmon breakfast bagel. Until the next recipe, everybody have a great week coming up, and I will see you next week.